Testing, testing. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Okay. I need to make sure everything's working. Okay. I just need like one person to tell me if everything's working correctly. Testing, testing. Chat isn't up. Okay, got one viewer. just need to make sure everything's good. Testing. I guess audio's fine. I'm not sure. So I guess we'll get along with the program. Okay. So, I don't know if anyone can hear me. So I could just be talking and no one can hear anything. So what I'll do is I'll just post in chat. And whoever comes in, you'll just see that. Okay. We'll give it a few more minutes and then I'll start. Okay, I think I'll start now. We're gonna take a little rest because I have no idea if another person can hear me. Oh, V's. Okay, Vidavi's here. Hey, what's up, man? Can you hear me at all? I'm trying to figure out my audio, but I have no idea if anyone can hear me. Let me go back on Discord. Oh wait, he just messaged me. I can hear you, but there's a very slight echo. Let's see. I'm not really sure how to figure this out, but let's see, what can I do? Maybe switching the audio. Blue snowball. Okay. How is it now? Testing, testing. Connected to my mic. But I think that should be better. Yeah, we'll just go with that for now. I'm not sure if it's still echoing, but okay. Sounds good. Okay, let's start. We got one viewer. You know, I'm famous already. But yeah, so the goal of this whole thing is to finish the Odin Project within a reasonable time frame. So we're going to go through all the paths, foundation to full stack JavaScript. And I'm going to be teaching or learning myself. We're going to be building the projects together. The viewers are going to learn how I code or how I do things, my workflow for handle problems, projects, ticketing, all that. So, you know what? Let's just begin. So we're going to go on foundations. But I guess before I start, I do have a lot of experience with programming. I branched off from the Odin Project 4 years ago to focus more on low level programming using languages like Rust, C, and C++. So I'm not new to web development, but I thought it would be fun to reintroduce myself back into the world of web development and, you know, just brush off the rust that I've gathered while I was away. So the pacing for this, I'm not sure. It's probably going to be fast and sometimes slow for certain things. But overall, yeah, it's going to be fun. So let's begin. So foundations course. This is where it all begins. A hands-on introduction to all the essential tools you need to build real working websites. You'll learn what web developers actually do. The foundations you need for later courses. Okay, how this course will work. I'm not gonna read it out loud. Odin Project is an open source community. Okay, so basics of computer and web programming. I wonder what they mean by this though. Basics of a computer. Like, are they talking about like keyboard, what a keyboard is, what a mouse is, what an operating system is? But probably not. Each of the following sections and lessons represent essential baseline knowledge. We'll start by getting familiar with the internet and your own computer. Get and GitHub. HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Okay. I wonder if they'll introduce backend knowledge as well, like how the client connects to the server via a HTTP request and you get a response back. I wonder if they'll cover that in the foundations, or would that be later on to the full stack? Okay, you build a simple web page. Yeah, I think I saw a project for building a simple landing page, adding minor elements of interactivity while working comfortably from the command line. This section intentionally covers a very broad range of topics. It's tells you to go dive straight into server-side program without context, blah, 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 blah. How it works. The curriculum works by pulling together the best content from across the internet for learning a particular topic. In each lesson, we'll introduce a topic and try to provide some useful context. Okay. Yeah, I remember some time ago when I first started the Odin Project, I would get so tired just reading, and I'll try to just skip through all the content and just try to build the project. But in retrospect, I have to stop doing that because there's some valuable information in the content. You just have to be mindful of what to read or what you're already knowledgeable about. A note about language. The Odin Project attracts people from all over the world who aspire to learn new or to learn how to become developers. Please be aware. Okay. As another part of this preparation, we highly recommend spending extra time on topics in terms that you do not understand right away. This is actually very important. I think there's a section on design patterns like MVC, and other things that I can't remember off the top of my head. But what I would do is that I would build a project, and once it's completed, I wouldn't go back to it. And sometimes that's fine. You just want to get done and move on. But in hindsight, what I should have done is, complete the project and just wait a couple of days, maybe a day or two, and go back to the project and try to see if I can refactor anything, or look at other solutions that people have built and try to incorporate that into my own code while still making it mine. Because that helps with two things. You're reading other people's code and you're refactoring your code to make it better or worse. It's good to have more practice, and it helps cement the knowledge that you've learned by the content that the Odin Project provides. We also encourage you to seek out additional resources. Yep, that's something I did a lot. I think it was MDN. I don't know. Yeah, MDN Web Docs. I love this website. It helped me so much understanding back-end development. Like, you really understood what was going on behind the scene. Like when you press on the link, what happens? Not completely like low level, like the browser, like what the browser is doing, but the network inside. How we do a post request, we send it to the server is doing something with that code, or not with the code, but with that request that we have, maybe filling out a form or something. You might also consider, I speak English, so that's fine. Once you've completed this course, you should feel comfortable with the building blocks of web programming, but itching to go deeper. Though we spent a fair bit of time digging into each major topics in this course, it's really just a taste of what comes next and all the cool stuff you can do with it. The last lesson of this course will give you an opportunity to choose between full-stack JavaScript and full-stack Rails path, both of which are designed to take the foundations built in this course and build it into applied understanding of the material. Each path will focus on taking these raw building blocks and honing them into a highly functional skill set. The Odin Project is maintained by professionals. We have chosen some of the best resources and curated a guide on how to go through them. If there are no good resources, we write our own. With that said, know that everything in the curriculum is intentionally included and vital for you to become a successful programmer. As you move forward in the curriculum, each portion is built on everything that came before it, so skipping things will create pockets of non-understanding in your knowledge that start to affect your ability to solve problems in the task at hand. I agree somewhat. When I did take this course, I did skip around, but I only skipped around the content that I knew that I was already capable of doing, like the advanced HTML CSS. I knew I could skip that material because I completed a majority of these projects right here. I knew I wouldn't have a problem skipping it. Like, my HTML CSS are way superior than my JavaScript. So that's why I focus more on the JavaScript end of stuff, trying to get better at JavaScript and React. But for this, we're not going to skip anything. We're going to go one by one, so there's no gaps in anything. Look at me. I'm probably giving bad advice, but I would argue that, hey, it's okay to skip stuff if you're confident that you can complete that entire lesson with no problem. Additional resources are the only thing that is considered optional unless explicitly stated. These are in here in case you feel like you need or want to dive deeper in the topic to get a better understanding. Yeah, some of the additional resources are really helpful. Really, really freaking helpful. Let's see. So this one doesn't have any additional lessons or resources, so we can mark this complete and go on to the next lesson. Okay. Checking with the live stream. Any questions? Okay, yeah, for my project, hands-on learning helps me much more. Courses, lessons help solidify that knowledge after. I agree with that. Yeah, I would say though, I'm starting to develop this really bad habit pertaining to projects, which is where I will start this grandiose project, say a video game that I want to build. And what I would do is that I would make it as hard as possible for myself. So for instance, say that I want to build a zombie survival game. Well, you would think that, hey, you're going to use a game engine. But I say, no, I'm going to use Python and Pygame. And then I use like a map editor or a tiled map editor to just build out the world. So I'm making it as hard as possible, but still leveraging some tools. And down the road while building a project, I'll just like have a lot of code written, but then I'll just stop. So let's go to my terminal. Mario. Not OpenGL. What is it called? Super Mario Bros. Yeah, so here's my Mario game. It's not completed. I'll be surprised if it even works right now. Permission denied. Crap. I need to update my permissions. Okay, I can't run it, but I'll worry about that later. But yeah, I just have this bad habit of starting a project and eventually just completely giving up on it. But I always tend to go back eventually. That's one thing I like about myself, is that yeah, I do stop development on a project, but after a while I get back to it because I beat myself up. It's like, hey, you started this project, you need to complete it. And that's kind of what happened with the Odin project. I just stopped doing it because I did get a job, but I like to complete stuff. I want to complete it because I can prove to myself that, hey, I can start things and finish it. So eventually, you know, as it's a little fun thing to do, I'll come back to this project after the Odin project, after I complete the Odin project, and I'll just complete this, live stream it all, and you guys will learn a little bit about Rust and how to build games. Even though I'm not really qualified to teach you guys, but it is fun to code in Rust. But yeah, if I could just run it. Oh well. Okay. So let's go to introductions to web development. Yeah. One thing I would say, or one thing I've learned while programming, is that, and just take this with a grain of salt, but something that's helped me a lot is that I never start a project from a clean slate. Like, say that I have an existing project, I would never erase all the code and start from the beginning. What I would do instead is refactor it. Here's why. When you get a job, are you going to tell your employer, hey, I don't understand this code, or I didn't really organize this code the right way, can I restart? No, the employer is going to say, no, you can't do that. It will take too much time. So you're going to be forced with the task of refactoring. So while you're still learning and developing your skills, try to force yourself to refactor code and not just delete the entire thing. Obviously, if you have like, I don't know, 50 lines of code or 100, and you're like, I don't really like how I'm doing things, of course you can erase that. But if your project is big, like the one I showed earlier, like 800 lines of code, then, hey, you got to think about it. I would tend to refactor more than often. It really helps a lot. But yeah. Oh, I should probably mention this. I know we only have one person watching, but how I'm gonna do things is that these live streams are gonna be long. They're gonna be like 8 hours plus, sometimes shorter depending on my schedule. So if I were watching this, I would probably just use it as background noise, and then sometimes go to the live stream just to see what's going on. But I know if people are joining from the Odin Project, you're more than willing to like just do your own thing, or maybe this will motivate you to do some more Odin Project and just use me as background noise, or just, I don't know, meet me. But yeah, this isn't really for people to watch unless they really want to, because the content gets really long. Like, I know I'm going to be here for a long time. Yep, sounds good. Yeah, definitely do that. I'll just be here. And another comment. True, man, that is a good point. Definitely some good experience. I'll have to go back through my project graveyard. Yep. I'm going to have to do the same thing. Like, I have one of the projects that I need to complete is my emulator. So I have an emulator that's emulating the Intel 8080, which is an old processor from Intel. And I did this in Rust. and it's something I need to get or finish. Because right now I've only just completed the debugger that I need. So this is something I would have to revisit in my project graveyard. This is emulation is another fun little side hobby of mine. It's really fun to emulate stuff. I've already completed chip 8 and I'm going to complete the Intel 8080, and then next is the Game Boy. I am excited to finish the Game Boy because I'm going to play Pokemon on my own emulator. That's the dream right there. So I definitely have motivation to finish some projects. But yeah, let's get back to the Odin Project. Okay, introduction to web development. What do web developers do? In short, they build and maintain websites. That is very true. Back in my first job that I got, it was really learning new technologies and building and maintaining a website. Sometimes you would have to do UI UX design for a client, but this really depends on the type of job you have. Maybe it's a consultancy company where you get a client, you have to build something for them. But yeah, this is very true. We build and maintain websites. Web developers often work for clients. Yep, this is what I did, who are trying to get their product or service onto the web. This work is typically very project focused and involves collaborating with a team that helps to coordinate the client needs into the end project. Yep. Yeah. This right here. You have to collaborate. You have to work with your team. My old job, what they used to say is that sometimes you would end up on your own island, which means that you know all the pieces, you know all the information, you're basically working alone. But how it usually would go about is that you would have, say that you were a junior developer and you had your own client project. You would have your own senior developer or just another programmer helping you out that you can go for questions. And they'll be working on other projects as well. You would get a project manager because they'll be the one managing the project, you know, going back and forth with the client. And then you would also get a quality assurance. That's how my job did things. But I'm sure that you would also have a DevOps person. Maybe if you weren't a full stack, but instead a front end developer, you would focus on front end development. Oh, and also not to mention, you would also have a UI designer or UI UX designer who would go about designing the stuff. So if that's how it usually be. So you have your own team, a programmer, a UI UX, a QA tester, a project manager, and you would, you know, communicate with your team, finishing the project. You have tickets that you have to complete, and you would have to do a stand-up every day. It'll be in 2 weeks sprints, so you have 2 weeks to complete your work for the client project. And I guess you would have to, you just complete the project after 2 weeks, or not after 2 weeks, but yeah, you just have complete your work. All the tickets that the project manager or you created via Trello or what's that other one called? I forgot the name. Jira. Jira's a name. But yeah. The client could be a tech company, or organization, or government. The work could involve front end, back end, or full stack. This line right here, involvement with this. I see a lot of companies going for full stack web developers. So maybe that's something to keep an eye on. That, hey, maybe I shouldn't just put all my energy into front-end development. Maybe I should put all my energy into full-stack web development. Because now a lot of jobs are realizing that, hey, I can save more money if I just hire a full stack developer. And think about it. If you're a full stack developer, you can still get a job as a front end developer or a back end developer. You have the skill set. You may not be good as a person who puts all their energy to front end, but you're more skilled in other areas than the person who only focuses on front end. I would, or I have the skill set as a full stack developer. I'm not, it's not my best skill set, but I can complete a full stack application. So yeah, that's something to keep mindful of. Web development could be a good profession for you if you like solving logical problems. Yes, this is definitely, yes, I agree with this. You have to enjoy solving puzzles. And you have to enjoy learning new things, experimenting with new technologies. But my journey, what I've learned is that you don't want to become a consumer of technologies. You don't want to be the guy who is, hey, I know React, and that's all you know. You want to be the guy who can learn that new technology and build it yourself. Hey, I learned React, but hey, I could also build it. I could build React if I wanted to. It won't be as good as React, but I have the foundations of computer science and my foundations that I could build libraries that could help other programmers. You want to become a producer mainly. Okay, so web developers are in high demand, generally have a good work-life balance. Yeah, generally. Some people may get a job that has something called, I don't remember the name, but I know it's something where on call. So if you get a job, they'll probably have something called on call. So they'll call you and you have to get to work. Like, hey, server's down, we need you. Or, hey, the website is crashed, it's reporting a 404 or 501. We need you. And you have to hop right on it. It could be a Saturday afternoon, you're with your family, and you just have to work. My job was going to do that, my previous job. But somehow I lucked out and I never received an on-call notice, which is very, I'm thankful of that. I love programming, but I also enjoy my weekends or my day offs. Comfortable salaries. I agree with this. I was lowballed. I'll just tell the truth. I was paid $40K for the first 3 months, or I guess the first 90 days, and then it got bumped up to $50K. I was definitely paid very low, but that's also because of desperation. I don't have a college degree or anything of that when I was applying for jobs. So I knew that I just had to take it to build that experience, even though I know I was paid low severely. But now I know better. I know how to do my research on how much a company should pay for a junior developer. So there's that. Yeah, they even say right here, Google your specific location to get a better sense of local web development, blah, blah, blah. Let's open this link. Types of web developers. Earlier we mentioned that web development could be in the front end or the back end or full stack. What do these terms mean? The front end is the stuff you see on a website. in your browser, including the presentation of content, user interface elements like the navigation bar. Front-end developers use HTML, CSS, and JavaScript and their relevant frameworks to ensure that content is presented effectively and that users have an excellent experience. Yeah, I know there's a popular analogy for a front-end, back-end, full stack. Think of it as like the body. Your skin, all your facial features, everything, the outermost layer of your body is the front end. The back end is, like your nervous system, all your bodily functions. And your full stack is a combination of that. I wouldn't say it's like the best analogy, but it's decent. Okay, backend refers to the guts of the application that lives on the server. The backend stores and serves program data to ensure that the front end has what it needs. This process can become very complicated when a website has millions of users. Backend developers use programming languages like Java, Python, Ruby, and JavaScript to work with data. Now, I've noticed a trend that Go is Go is becoming very popular. Trying to find a reliable source or credible source. Probably can't do that, but we'll do this. Stack Overflow. I've heard of Phoenix. I think that uses Elixir. Here, we should read this survey. Okay, so React is still being used. It's admired by 63%. Views or Next is way more popular. I've used Elm for a simple project, and I've really enjoyed the philosophy behind it. And I know that a lot of Rust frameworks are copying its way of architecting in a web application. Django. I've never used Django, but I definitely want to try it. But yeah, the most admire. .NET. So I used to, well, no, I still will use like Vim or NeoVim just because I enjoy using it. But recently I wiped out my operating system and I switched to Gentoo for a month. I did not enjoy it at all. Not because of Gentoo itself, but because of the timing. Once I installed Gentoo and I had it working on my machine, a couple days later, I had to start working on projects from clients, and I had nothing set up for my computer. So I lost the opportunity to learn new things because I didn't want to rush through setting things up. And compile times would take so long that I would get frustrated. So I definitely didn't like that. But I definitely want to try Gentoo again because it was a lot of fun setting it up and I learned so much even though it was only for a month. So why I say that is because, well, I have nothing set up right now. I've basically this is a fresh install of Ubuntu. So I don't have Vim or NeoVim. I only have Visual Studio Code with a Vim extension. But eventually you will see throughout this live stream or the next live streams that I'll be using NeoVim later on once everything is set up. Yeah, I actually want to see programming languages, not frameworks. Okay. Admired. Rust is killing it. C#, I definitely want to try C#. I think it's a really good language to learn. Kotlin, wow. What's assembly? Oh, Elixir. I was gonna say, why is assembly admired way more? But yeah, that's Zig and a Rust, or no, Zig and Elixir definitely have some competition going on. APL is a weird language. Same with J. Pretty fun to code in though. I definitely want to see more Haskell. And Swift is actually pretty nice language. I just wish that you could use it. Well, you can use it outside of Apple ecosystem, but it's just so weird because you're going to be using Swift to build iOS apps and anything Apple product-y. So it's kind of like, what's the point of using Swift? I don't have a MacBook. As you can see, I have a Linux computer. There's no way I'm going to be building iOS apps. I can build Android apps or build them using Kotlin. But yeah, there's no way I can build an iOS app, which sucks. You know, I've been thinking I should definitely do more research into my area because I may have to learn C# and .NET and start building applications. But yeah, Rust is definitely a language that I will continue learning. Just looking at this, even though it's not millions of responses, it's still good to know, like, hey, Rust takes a spot once again for their most admired language. That's what is that, 8 years in a row? That's crazy. I don't like Python. Python is not the type of language I want to use in the future. Just because I'm comfortable with languages that are statically typed, like Rust and Go. I've wrote so much code in those languages that every time I touch a dynamically typed or a dynamic language like JavaScript or Python, my brain just refuses. Or no, my brain is just completely lost on what's going on with the code. But here's the weird thing. TypeScript, you know, introduces types, but somehow it makes it a little bit harder to reason about. Not with TypeScript, but with frameworks like React. I just don't know why. It just makes it harder. So you definitely won't see me using Python a lot. I'll probably start using Rust and C# or Go. I would have to use TypeScript, but yeah. Um, oh crap! I just realized this, but since we're taking the full stack Ruby on Rails path, I'm gonna have to learn Ruby. But it won't be that hard. It'll just be frustrating because your code will be a mess just because you don't have any types. And I guess Ruby probably has like optional types like Python, which is, I don't like that. But Python, or no, Rust, C Sharp, Go, Swift, Elixir, Haskell, are definitely languages I want. Should I add Zig? Zig as well. Those are the languages I want to learn in the future. I don't really care about Java that much. I guess I should include C because that's the language that everyone should learn. And I want to include Swift, but if someone could gift me a MacBook, then it won't be happening. I'm probably gonna have to learn. Well, I already know enough Lua to do configuration for NeoVim, but that's that. Elixir. I want to try Elixir because of the Phoenix framework. I think that would be pretty cool just to build like a simple project with it. Assembly would be pretty fun. Just because of I don't know, it's assembly. It's hard. And it'd be cool to build like a little stupid project with assembly. Or I shouldn't say assembly, but maybe 6502, which is the NES assembly language. You know, build a simple game with it. Or have your own virtual machine that uses your own assembly language. Like, that's fun. So definitely see more of that. We should probably look more into C#.net. Like, what's this all about? Like, what can you do with C#? Like, what are people doing? Like, this is really not that hard to reason about. Build anything with C#. So you can build for the web, mobile, desktop, games, IoT, and more. Object-oriented, type safe, okay. I like it. Unity uses C#. Pretty cool. Okay, let's get back to the program. Full stack developers are comfortable working. Okay, I already read this. For more detail, Udacity has a great blog post. Okay, types of careers. Now that you know about the different types of web developers, let's cover what we mentioned earlier about the different types of clients and employers you may work with. Large tech companies such as Google, Meta, and Amazon have very stringent hiring requirements. If you successfully meet these expectations, there are a few excellent pay, benefits, and opportunities. Startups are a bit like the Wild West. For a junior developer, it could feel like a trial by fire because of the pace of development. Yep, that's exactly how I felt. I worked for a startup. And my God, I was tasked with so many things. I couldn't breathe. And they expected me to learn multiple different technologies like RxJS, Angular, Firebase, Tailwind, and a Google Cloud platform, all in a couple of months. It was very hard. I would say the thing that kept tripping me up though was RxJS. I could get the handle of Angular and other things, but RxJS was just weird because it was an entirely different paradigm. So yeah, I struggled a lot. Startups often offer slightly lower salaries and require longer hours, but may also offer equity in the company in highly unique environments. As a freelancer, you could command a strong hourly wage and the freedom to schedule and design your own products. However, you would be responsible for getting your own work, which means less coding time, managing billing form clients, which can be difficult, and being solely responsible. Strong people skills are necessary for this path. I definitely would like to be a freelancer in the future, just because of that freedom. But I would also argue that I need more experience in the field before I start this path. Like, I really have to be great at communicating and, just talking to people, because my income comes from my clients, and if I have less clients, I have no income. So this would definitely be a goal of mine, to be a freelancer, because I don't have to stick to one thing. I could be a web developer or an embedded developer, or maybe some like a low-level programmer for something. So that would be fun. However, you'd be responsible for getting work. Managing your billing. That is, oh man. My previous job, we had to time how long it took for tickets, which was so stupid, because sometimes you would forget to time yourself, or you would time yourself, but you had to get up and make breakfast or make lunch. You forget to stop the timer, so you would have to guess like how long it took for this. And I would try my best to avoid that, but it was very frustrating. So I know my point doesn't really encompass what they're talking about, but that's one thing that really frustrated me. As a consultant for a web consultancy, you would give up some of your freelancing wage potential, but be able to focus more on the code and less on the hustle. Yeah, this is what my type of job was. Finally, large order companies still need web developers. These companies offer good work-life balance, pay, and benefits, but often move slower than a company that is highly focused on tech. Tools of the trade. Computer, Google, text editor, okay, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I already have that. I still need to get GitHub set up, just because I wiped out my entire operating system. I do have a backup, but I'm too lazy to do all that right now. So I hope that GitHub makes it easy to sync up with my computer again. I think I just need the key, SSA key. I think that's what it's called. Then I guess things will be working again. Okay, so motivation. Learning to code is incredibly rewarding, but also difficult and frustrating. You can say that again. The strongest assets you can have as students are a desire to build, a problem-solving mind, and a persistence in the face of setbacks. This is my struggle right here, persistence. I need to complete those projects that are in the graveyard. Like Vidavi said, I have to complete those projects, because the problems I encountered during those projects were hard, and I just, after so many after like banging my head against the wall, I eventually gave up. So I have to stop that habit completely. It has to go. The web development industry has a long history of successful developers with varying backgrounds, so people tend to care more about what you actually built than how you got there. Why Odin? I want you to know that this will not be easy. There are plenty of other online curriculums for beginners, but they are often taught in an extremely isolated and controlled environment and cover only a specific topic. The Odin Project takes a realistic view of what you need to know and has you set up and work in your own environment, much like what you would do when you get a job. It acknowledges that you need a wide variety of skill sets and languages to reach an employable level. The Odin Project is constantly evolving because of people like you who get further along in the curriculum and pay for it by incrementally improving their content over time. Once you start to feel confident with it, you'll start hacking on open source projects. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. If anyone here is listening, please, the biggest takeaway you can get from this, like, ignore everything else about this live stream. Just remember this. You need to contribute to open source projects. Why? Because you get to read other people's code. It's like an artist looking at other people's art. We don't learn by just looking at our own code because we don't know if our code is good or not. Looking at an open source projects, you have thousands of people, all with different flavors of writing code, that you can steal and incorporate that into your own code. You will see how a big project is organized and how you can organize your own projects. You will be forced to communicate, to write good get commits, to manage your branch, to look at get logs, to check out of a branch, to fix merge conflicts, to do all of that. Contribute to open source project. I don't care if it's hard. Do it. Do it. You have to do it. If you want to get better, contribute to open source. Now, I'm not telling you go contribute to LLVM or some hard open source project. You don't need to do that. What you need to do is figure out your skill set and find an open source project that revolves around your skill set. Mastodon is a good example. If you go through the Ruby or Ruby on Rails track on Odin Project and you complete it, start contributing to Mastodon. And you know what? I'll even live stream me doing that. It's going to be hard, but I don't care because I know down the road I'll get better. And then I'll contribute to the Odin Project. I'll live stream it all. Just because I want to prove to you guys that you will get better if you contribute to open source project. I feel like that's the best way. That's the number one thing you should focus on. Yes, personal projects are fun. And don't get me wrong. It's very conflicted. I don't know which should be number one. But I feel like I could argue that, hey, open source projects should be your most important thing. Because it's an already existing project. Hopefully you find an open source project that you like. And you get the right code for it. That's cool. Like, the Odin Project has its own GitHub. Or GitHub repo. That you can contribute to. You can contribute to the curriculum or the main site. And it's Ruby and Ruby on Rails. That's perfect. It doesn't have a lot of issues, but that's fine. You could probably figure something out. You could start testing the website and figure out see if there's any existing bugs and try to fix it. That's cool. Okay, conclusion. Hopefully you've gained a better idea of what a web developer actually does and what your life might look like if you decided to take it on as a career. This has only been a teaser into the world of web development. In the foundation course, you'll take a journey through the entire spectrum of topics that you will eventually need to know. This course jumps around to a variety of topics that you may be totally unfamiliar with, providing you with a small taste of each and then moving on. The following courses will dive deep into these topics. You will build dozens of scripts, projects, and websites to cement those knowledge that will get you hired. Getting all the way there is going to be challenging. In fact, you should check out the post, Why Learning Code is So Damn Hard, so you have a good taste of what the journey ahead is like. But what worthwhile thing is truly easy? I agree. Everything is hard. But coding is too much fun to give up. Yes, it's going to be challenging, but it's also going to be fun. And it might be even life-changing too. What are you waiting for? I'll tell you one thing. I gave up programming 3 times back in high school. Freshman year, I gave up. Sophomore year, I gave up. Junior year, I gave up. My senior year, I finally said, hey, I'm going to stick with programming. I learned Scratch in class. It was for a Java programming course. I learned Scratch for like the first week. Then we moved on to Java. I did horrible in that class. Horrible. But what kept me going was the fact that I could build something. Like, that was so much fun to me. Like, I could build anything using my computer. And I just got hooked after that. I would just spend all my time in class just programming. Yeah, I'll be in astronomy class. I'll just program. I'll be in math class and I'll be programming. I was just having too much fun. Way too much fun. I think we're gonna ignore. Actually, no. We'll go through all of these. So we will read this. We won't read all of it, but okay. So I'm just gonna zoom through this. I'm just gonna mark it as complete. Quincy Larson was just a guy in a suit in an office, and he decided he wanted to learn how to code. So he asked around. He started by picking up a bit of Ruby and found himself skimming through other languages like Scala, Clojure, and Go. He learned Emacs and Vim, and even a Dorvik keyboard layout. He picked up Linux, dabbled in Lisp. Dang, this guy is just learning different languages. Dabbled in Lisp and coding in Python while living on the command line for more than half a year. Like a leaf in a tornado, the advice Quincy received jerked him first one way, then the other, and then another until he finally taken every online course program imaginable. By the end of it, despite having ultimately landed a software development job, Quincy was convinced that seemingly normal programs I ran into were actually sociopaths who had experienced then repressed the trauma of learning to code. Yes, it does. It is hard, man. Learning to code is hard. Learning to code is the most hardest thing you would do in your life. The hand holding, I'm way past this. Way past this. Confidence? No. Confidence is down here. Down here, man. Actually, I take that back. Every time I start a project, it's down here. And then once I'm starting to have a mental model of what I want to do, then it goes up. But then every time I go against, or there's a bug, it drops back down. It's like a freaking crazy roller coaster. It just goes up and down, up and down, up and down. Team Treehouse was the first thing I used. That brings back memories. Honeymoon, Cliff of Confusion, Desert of Despair, Upswing of Awesome, Job Ready. This is weird. I don't think I agree with this. Because you never know when you're job ready. You may always be right here in the Desert of Despair, but you're just trudging through. Maybe you'll get more competent if you keep on doing the same thing, but programming is just so many different things. Like if you just stuck with full stack development and you could just kept on building CRUD projects, yeah, you'll be confident in your ability. But say you're tasked with building an emulator, then you're right back here because you have no idea what to do. You don't know how to do any bitwise manipulation or bit manipulation, or how to read documentation for a processor. You're going to be learning all these new things, like looking at hex dumps, looking at ROM files, and trying to reverse engineer what's going on by looking at the opcodes. But you're going to fall off the cliff and just enter right back here. And that goes for multiple things. Learning data structures and algorithms. Boom. I mean, you may even be off the cliff already and just be here. And eventually you will be here. So this applies to everything, really. Any skill. You're just going to have to enjoy the process. That's why I don't really completely agree with this graph. Because I've been here for so long, but I don't care. Because I'm just having a lot of fun. You need to get comfortable being here for a long time. Because you may never reach this if you have a lot of skills you want to learn. If you want to build operating systems or emulators or just low-level projects. If you want to have a variety of skill sets, you're probably going to be here for a long time. The Desert of Despair. One thing I've learned about the Desert of Despair, just speaking from experience, is that you're gonna struggle through a project. But here's the cool thing about having something on your computer: it will be there the next day, it will be there next week, it will be there next year if you don't accidentally wipe out your computer. And you could just go back to that project. So you're starving for resources. Well, just stop right there where you are. Take a little break, go outside, exercise, do whatever. Come back and try to tackle the project again. Do it the next day, do it again, and repeat. Reiterate on your project and you will become good. Perfect projects, well-organized projects are not built in one day. Rome wasn't built in one day. It's a reiterative process that you have to go through. Like, for instance, the Mario project. I'm going to have to rebuild this project multiple times just so I can get it to a level that I want it to be. Right? I'm not happy with this. Even though I've organized it in a way such that I'm using modules so I can separate them into its own files, I still don't like the way I'm going about writing the code. I feel like it could be better. So I'm going to reiterate on the code and refactor, not delete my entire code, and try to improve upon the code that I have. Because it can be better. I just have to figure out how. And one way I could do this is look at other implementations of people building Super Mario, or get help from other people who are experienced game developers. Maybe they'll say, hey, maybe you should just use an entity component system, or ECS. And I'll just use that instead, and I'll figure it out along the way. So yeah, this is when you've gained competence of building the same thing over and over again. It's just repetition. If you're just stuck with building CRUD applications, yes, you're gonna get better. And I feel like CRUD applications are the most easiest things because it's just the same thing over and over again. But writing good code, that's the hard thing. I guess they're saying like, oh, a blank text file. And you're building a project. How do you even start? It's hard. Like, say you're tasked with building a text editor. How would you begin the project? Well, I wouldn't look at the source code for existing text editors, just because of, or it depends on my goals. Like, maybe I want to build it from scratch myself. Then I would just look at, or I would play around with text editors and I'll try to figure out what's going on. And maybe one thing I'll do is that I'll look for existing proven to work data structures or algorithms that would work for my case. So a gap data structure is a popular one, or a rope data structure is another popular one for text editors. And I would just use that and just try to figure it out along the way. Just start small, get a letter onto the screen, or even start smaller from that. Get a letter into an array or into your gap data structure. Yeah, you just have to break down the problem. So if I was starting over again, I'll be, right here. I'm gonna fall right here. But I've already been through that pain. I'm immune to it now. Yeah. I don't even use resources a lot anymore. I tend to just read the man pages for certain things, and I just try to solve the problem. Or if I really need if I'm learning a new technology, yeah, I'll just go through the documentation. But I won't really read or watch a YouTube video or anything unless it would actually help a lot. Back in the days, I used to just watch every YouTube video. But now it's just like, I just want to write the code and figure it out myself. Yeah, I remember doing Code School, Treehouse, Khan Academy, edX, W3 Schools, Stack Overflow, tutorials, Odin Project. Yeah, I remember that. Textbooks, the docs, mock courses. And now I'm here and here. I'm textbooks, the docs, and I'm also here too. But this is with different things, like different fields of program, like game development, not just building web applications. Building games are hard though. The honeymoon phase, yeah, fuck all this. This is gonna be mathematics, and like a little bit of kinematics. If you're building games, it's just wow. Linear algebra, or I think there's algebra as well. Yeah, it's really hard. Building games is hard as heck, but it's fun. Getting the character to move, getting the sprite animations to be in sync. It's pretty fun. And when you finish, you have a game to play. Okay, let's take a little break. Oh man. Let's see, do we have any viewers in the chat? This would be a good time to ask any questions you have. We'll be back in 5 more minutes. Yeah, I don't think anyone's here. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to get more viewers onto my live stream. Oh crap. I got a warning. I can't self-promote my live stream on the Odin Project Discord server. I did not realize that. Crap. Oh. Okay, break is over. Let's start again. Scope of knowledge. I am right here and right here. You don't know what you don't know. It's so damn true. You can't learn this stuff in a week or a month or a single college course, no matter what anyone says, so stop falling for that. There's a lot more to learn than you probably expected, even if you're able to get some apps running. It's hard not to feel lost in the greater scheme of becoming a true professional.
Oh, I hate these flood pants.
You've made it through the desert and your confidence is growing. Your Google Fu is excellent and you're finally able to understand those detailed industry blog posts and screencasts. Maybe you've gone deep into a particular language or framework and you have confidence that you can build and launch a function and application. This is the upswing of awesome. Okay, this is actually motivating me for some reason. I've been coding for so long, but this is somehow motivating me. Build, collaborate, set goals, focus, get feedback. Actually, this is actually useful. Phase 1, build. So build a project. Phase 2, collaborate. Phase 3, set goals and focus. Focus on those goals. Phase 4, get feedback, and you'll eventually be job ready. So basically, they're telling you, hey, avoid distractions that pushes you away from your goals. That's definitely something I struggled with in the past. Actually, I may still struggle with that, just because I have so many other interesting things I want to do. So the Odin Project would definitely be a testament to avoid distractions. It's something I'll definitely get better at. This is another thing. I do need to get feedback. And I think getting feedback is actually easy now because of Discord. I could just hop on Discord and say, hey, can someone look over my project real quick, and they will ask questions like, "Hey, how does this work? Oh, this is pretty cool. Can I see the code?" You would have to show them the code and be like, I don't really like how you did this. You could also do it like this way as well. I've seen that a lot on the Rust Discord server. Man, people on the Rust Discord server are geniuses, really. Every time I've shown some Rust code, they always said that I could make it better. They always give me tips on what I could do to make this code more cleaner. And that's so cool. So getting feedback, that's definitely something I need to do. Okay. Yep. Their interactivity is front end stuff. This is actually a really good analogy. The back end is the foundation, all the wood in place, everything's in place. But the front end developer is the interior designer. They're the one who's putting the wall, painting it, putting or laying down the furniture, all that to make it look sleek and nice. This is another thing. I mentioned earlier that jobs are moving towards full stack development. Here's another benefit of learning more full stacky stuff. It opens more opportunities for you. Like, you could be a front end developer, but if you have some knowledge of the back end, cool. And vice versa. Yeah, I'll probably use AWS with my SQL, some backend language, HTML, CSS with JavaScript. That's probably some machine learning nowadays. Scala, iOS. Whoa. So for my goal, I'm just gonna say this verbally. My goal is to get a full stack position at some company, or I guess a startup, or a mid-sized company. I don't care about the tech stack as long as it's full stacked, which can either be focusing mainly on front end and just a little bit of back end, or vice versa. And I want the company to be local to my area, or just close enough that it's a short commute. And if possible, if I'm lucky enough, I would like remote more. But after reading that article, I definitely want to focus more on full stack. It just seems more fun and makes more sense, you know? Like, I feel like a web developer should be a full stack developer by default. If I wanted to build my own personal project, it's probably going to be a full stack application. Sure, you can just have a static website for things, maybe just a landing page. But if you want to have interactivity, for instance, like for credit, say that you want to build a budget app or a budget web application, it's going to have to be a full stack application. There's no way around that. Now, there's tools that you can use to make the process easier, or to make the backend work easier by using the Firebase. But like I've said before, I like making things hard for myself because you get to learn more. So I think after I complete the Odin project, I'll like revisit projects I need to complete. But for a good resume piece as a personal side project, I'm gonna build a full stack budget application, something like YNAB, or You Need a Budget, something like that. I'll go through the entire process: UI, UX, front end, back end, setting up my Linux servers, all that. Do it all from scratch. I'm not too sure about tech stack, but that doesn't matter. I don't think I need to read this. Hypertext. Yeah, I don't need to read this. Actually, where am I? Okay, perfect. Famously proclaimed that it takes 10,000 hours of deliberate practice to achieve mastery in a craft, and Peter Norvig cited this writing an article. Yeah, this is very true. Because some ignorant people think that if they just do 10 hours of programming, that all counts as deliberate practice. First of all, the human brain cannot stay focused for more than 6 hours. And you can cite me on you can cite me on that, because I think that's proven. I've read somewhere. I forgot the source, but I'm sure it's from some study. You cannot focus more than 6 hours. And to have deliberate practice for more than 6 hours, that's not even healthy. You will burn out and lose all that progress that you've gained. So I won't be measuring my deliberate practice, because that's just a waste of time. I'm going to focus more on, stretching my brain and doing challenging projects. And just do that for an amount of years. In all honesty, if you really wanted to achieve mastery over what does that even mean, though, to achieve mastery in programming? Because there's so many different fields that it's kind of hard. Like, hey, I'm a master at web development. I'm going to go build a game. You suck at building games. Did you really achieve mastery over programming? Like, building games, you're basically just starting from level 5, because you have the programming knowledge, you have the capability to problem solve. It's still hard, though. Yeah, I feel like no one should really achieve mastery. Everyone should try to have fun. Programming is about having fun. That's how I see it. I want to have as much fun as possible. Deliberate practice is work on something that is just beyond your current skill set. Sometimes it's very hard to figure out what's beyond, though. So let's go back to the budget application. I would say that it's beyond, because if I'm doing everything from scratch, obviously I'm going to be using frameworks just to help me out a bit. But I think I'm going to use Go for the back end. And you're probably surprised, like, oh, he's not using Rust. I'll use Go because it'll be quicker to use. So I'll be learning. I've learned Go before, but I'll just say, I'll be learning a new language. I'll be learning concurrency. I'll be setting up my own servers. We're actually going to be setting up our own servers. We're not going to be using AWS. Maybe on a different branch we'll use AWS just for a practice. But yeah, we'll be setting up some Linux servers. We'll probably go crazy just buy some Raspberry Pis once they're in stock, and just put the back end or put our server on the Raspberry Pis. That'll be cool. You know, setting up the load balancer, making it secure, which probably won't happen. But I would say it's way beyond, but some of it is just beyond my skill level. So it's basically a long-term project, but it can be completed. But I think the biggest thing is that it will stretch my brain. Like, it would make me way better than I am right now. So we're definitely building a budget application because it's something I want to use. I don't really like Google Sheets or Excel. YNAB is too expensive right now, and I just want to make something for myself that I actually would use every day. Now, the challenging thing is that the budget application would have to be a web application, but then it has to be an iOS app because I'm going to be on my phone the majority of the time. So it needs to be a mobile app as well. That's challenging, but doable because of Swift UI and Jetpack. People who are disciplined work on hard problems. Ooh, I need to remember this. I need to work on hard problems, man. I'm gonna paste this. Holy crap. I stay at the office until 10 p.m. almost every day and try to get at least 8 hours of programming each weekend to supplement the deliberate practice I get at work. Dude. I want it bad, but 10 p.m. If he works at, dude, that's 11 hours right there. Oh no, 13 hours. 13 hours of code. What about your family? Is that healthy? Is that something I would do? I've done that before, but I hated it. Just because of how it was so unhealthy. And this guy says at least, so he goes for more. I feel like you're being counterproductive. But hey, what I usually do is if I see someone making that claim, I'll be like, okay, I'll do the same thing and I'll see how I feel about it. I'll do it for maybe a month or two. And if I don't like it, I'll stop doing it. I think it's unrealistic though. There's no way you can code or be at work until 10 p.m. Like people who have families, they can't do that. And even if you didn't have a family, you shouldn't do that. Go enjoy your life. You only have one life. What if you did that for a year, but you made no memories with your family? None of that. You were just at work, and you just die the next day. Like, it's not how you should live your life. Programming is fun, don't get me wrong, but you should also balance it out. The best programmers are the ones that have hobbies. Dennis Ritchie had a hobby. Ken Thompson had a hobby. Genius programmers have hobbies. They do things outside of programming, which in turn make them better programmers. So don't let that last sentence fool you. You don't need to revolve around your life around programming. You can if you want to, but just know when to stop and I just take a break from it. Programming is a new literacy. Kids are doing it. Everyone's doing it. Hey, I'm smart. Why don't I learn to program? Okay, as soon as I get my environment settled, I'll start programming. God damn it! This whole blog post was about an earlier version. Fuck! I don't even know what I just did. People said it would be easy. Maybe I just don't have the mind for it. Maybe I'm just dumb. I tell myself this like every time. Damn, I'm stupid as hell. I am stupid. I'm so dumb. Oh, I must be stupid. That there is no mastery. There is no final level. Thank you. Like, there's no way to master this field. Like, this guy was making grandiose claims, but there's no way. You can't achieve mastery. You can only get better. And even if you could, you'd just be good at one thing. You transition to something else, like embedded programming. You're going to struggle. Or you're building drivers, or you're doing some hacking on the kernel. You're going to struggle. There is no web development on the kernel. Maybe you want to build your own TCP implementation. You're going to struggle. There's too many things. It would take thousands of years just to I feel like to be a master. And the development of computer science would have to halt. It would have to be it'll have to stop for you to master all those concepts. Like, there's no way. I don't believe that. I do remember when I decided to learn iOS using UIKit. It was so frustrating. This resonates with me so much. Everything I expected to be hard was easy, and everything that should have been easy was hard. Exactly. That's how I felt. And I eventually gave up until Swift UI came out. And then I was like, hey, I'm gonna build everything because everything's easy. I swear to you, once Swift UI is more mature, and even when companies are using it, I will go back to I will order a MacBook and start developing every app that I want to make, just because it'll just be so easy. And obviously, I will learn UI kit, but I don't really need it. I don't know when I'll have an iOS job. I don't even know if I want an iOS job. I'm not really a big fan of tutorials. I think they're sometimes a waste of time. Okay, we're gonna skip this one because it just reiterates the same point. Hmm. I agree. I used to get mentored a lot by a senior developer. Helped me grow a little bit, and their problem-solving skills were off the charts. Problems that I couldn't solve, they were able to solve in seconds. This is my goal. This is my career goal. Become a senior developer. I don't care about becoming a tech lead or any of that. A senior software engineer is something I strive for. I want to. That's what I want to be. The hacker mindset. Yes. User agent. Oh, I'll explain it right now. So user agent. So that we have a curl, and we're gonna send a request to google.com. So we have a status code 301, which means moved permanently. This is the version of HTTP. The content type is a text HTML char set UTF-8, so that's the Unicode. We have server content length, so this is the amount of content that's on the web page. This is the content, which is HTML, which is right here. The content type HTML. This could also be JSON or just regular plain text. Could also do another one. Let's see, youtube.com. I think there's even more. I just forgot the settings. X. I think that's default, but I'll still try it. .405, so we got a different status code. But yeah, all I'm doing is really just sending a request to YouTube server using this URL. So I'm sending a GET request to be specific, and I'm getting this back as a response, an HTTP response. Yeah, separation of concerns for this article. Yeah, you want to have that hacker mindset. You want to be flexible with any language. I don't agree with this claim because they picked the best tool for the job. Let's be honest here. Picking the best tool for the job is a tool that they're most comfortable with. I'm not going to see someone pick Phoenix over Django, even though Phoenix would be a better solution or a better tool. They have no experience with Phoenix, so why would they use it? Even though it's the best tool for the job, they're going to use Django, which is the worst tool for the job. So yeah, I don't really believe in this claim. They're going to use a tool that they're most comfortable with. I already read this. Get involved into the community. This is something I definitely have to do or get back into. Oh wow, I would just redo other websites for fun. This actually sounds pretty fun. I would definitely do this. And if I wanted to, I'll just like say, hey, I redesigned your website. You could have it for free. I don't really care. Like, I would actually do this. I'm actually going to do this pretty soon, actually, because this sounds so much fun. This sounds like a challenge. I definitely need to go back on Twitter, Instagram, and all the social media apps. That would help me gain connections and network with people, make new friends. That would definitely be helpful in the long run. Okay. Take Take a moment to think about why you have decided to learn about programming. Do you want a fulfilling career that pays well? Yes. Are you excited by the creative outlet programming provides? Yes. Are you determined to develop the skills and abilities to build any app you can think? Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Do you want to start your own company by turning an app idea into reality? Yes. 100% yes. Another one is that I want to be able to help people with code. We're already changing lives by using something called ChatGPT. It's helping people. And also, it's harming people as well. But I want to look on the benefits. It's changing the world, which is something I want to do. I want to help billions of people with the code I've wrote. That's something I want to do. A creative outlet. Oh man, programming is so much fun. Yes, it's frustrating. Yes, I bang my head against the wall all the time. But solving the problem is so much fun. Actually, there was a project I built. It was Snake. Simple project, pretty easy. But there's one thing I was stuck on for the longest while. And it was the way how the snake moved. It took me a full 3 days on the whiteboard just drawing it out. Like, how does this work? How does this work? And once I finally figured out how to make the snake move in that way, like in a grid way, or how it lags, the last pixel lags before or after the other, it just, that euphoria of solving the problem after you've been stuck on it for so long. I love it. That adrenaline hit. Or no, not the adrenaline, but the dopamine hit that I received. It was something out of this world. That's how I knew I loved programming so much. It was just too much fun for me. I already have this, so I'm not going to read these articles, but you can if anyone's following. Believe you can get better, grit, you can learn anything. Yeah, just a growth mindset. That's what you got to have. Oh, they're referring to that course on Udemy. Learning how to learn. The trick is to put effort into solving the problem first and then take a break. In short, understand it, practice it, and finally teach it. I always get stuck at teaching it, but I think going on YouTube live and just documenting my journey, it's going to force me to teach the concepts that I'm learning. Because even though there's not an audience right now, hopefully I'll have an audience in the future to teach it to. And I'll have things more prepared. This is actually interesting. Hmm. Oh boy, yeah. This is this is why I tend to stay away from ChatGPT, even though it won't hurt me. It's just I just get more practice out of it. Now I could have used ChatGPT to generate the huge switch case I need for emulators. Like, yeah, that's something I could do for next time because I understand it. I know what to do. But overall, I want to stay away from AI tools just for now. I want to get to a point where I'm comfortable writing good code because I just don't want to take away from that learning. And plus, ChatGPT or Copilot are not even perfect. You still have to review the code and see what it's doing. Yeah, this is what I mean. It doesn't seek truth. It just generates whatever if it doesn't have the information readily available. Yeah. I I would not know what to do if I was in this person's shoes, because you cannot say, "Hey, ChatGPT, Copilot, or any AI tools that facilitate um, what assignments are are not allowed." You can't do that. You just can't. ChatGPT is a invaluable tool, but it also produces errors, and it could hurt um, the students' learning. I think a tool for like that, you would have to teach them on how to use it properly and why it's not a perfect tool, especially for beginners. Wow, they put it perfectly. Some people learn different things at different paces because of their life experiences. Huh. Your life experiences determine if you're really prepared for this concept or not. For instance, a mathematician at the age of 9, he's been doing math his whole life since he was 5. And he started programming when he was 14. He runs towards a concept and he has to learn it. He's going to understand it quicker because he has correlated that programming concept to math. Say that he was learning some graph data structures. He's going to be like, "Oh, well, I've learned this in math." His life experience has prepared him for that concept, and he's going to learn it fast. But someone like me, or someone who has no experience with you know, outside of high school math, they're going to struggle a little bit. But eventually they will get it, and once they do understand that concept, when they move to a math, or when they move to a math concept, then they'll be able to understand the problem, because now their life experiences has prepared them for that math concept. If they're like learning a graph data structure or something that math and programming have together, like a mathematician can easily transition to making computer graphics because they understand the linear algebra or all the math you need for computer graphics. They just need the programming knowledge, and they could just combine the two skills in order to learn the concept as efficiently as possible. Yeah, that was really beautifully said. I'm just gonna say that now. Like, yeah, you're not dumb, you're not stupid, you're not slower than the others. Your life experiences have not prepared you for this stuff yet. relax, and just enjoy the ride. Yes. Yep, this is from the Learn How to Learn. I'm actually going to start doing this right now. So we're going to take a break and then we're going to do some Pomodoro. I'm going to take a little short walk outside just so I can relax my brain. It's taking in a lot of information. But let's just finish this article. I do this, I compare myself to others because it's really hard not to. It's like it's human nature to compare ourselves. But instead of just going full cold turkey and trying to compare ourselves to our old self, instead, what I think you could do, and don't quote me on this because I have no idea if it's even a good idea, but compare yourself to another person in a healthy way. Instead of beating yourself up, saying like, "Oh, he's better than me. Oh man, he can code anything." No, instead, go up to the person, realize that he's better than you or her, and ask them questions on how to get better. What is their workflow? And keep on doing that until you're way more happier than you were before about your skill set. Like, did you improve? That's how I should go about it. Okay, so we're gonna experiment a bit. We're gonna say 25 minutes, 30 break. We're just gonna, let's do this. And then we're gonna take a little break. So we're gonna just mute the stream for now. Okay, I'm back from my break. I feel way better than before. Whew, had some food. Okay, so when I muted myself, I was talking about how we're gonna plan things going forward. So with the foundation course, for each section, that'll be a day's worth of work. So once I complete this, I'll stop the stream, and then the next day I'll complete this. Now for beginners, I wouldn't recommend doing this. I would recommend taking your time, making sure all the knowledge is cemented. The reason why I can just go through the course like that is because I'm comfortable enough where I could skip this entire course. It wouldn't be a problem for me. But for beginners out there, for newbies, take your time. When I first started, I took a good couple of weeks just on this part, making sure that I understood everything. So we got 2 more lessons. Let's complete this, and then the streaming will be done. Oh, and then also let's not forget to do the Pomodoro. So 3, 2, 1, go. Along your programming journey, you will inevitably need to ask questions in an online coding community like ours, or in conversations with your colleagues. While asking questions may seem rather simple, in a programming environment, it is essential to ask well-formed questions with as much context as needed, so you can get the most out of asking for help. In essence, help others help you. I don't know if I ask good questions, but it's definitely a skill that I need to practice. Many people who help in coding chats are unpaid volunteers, are in no way obligated to answer your query, but because they truly do want to help, they will ask for more information when needed. Okay, first assignment. Then we have a knowledge check. Don't ask, just ask. Oh shoot. I've made the same mistake. Instead of Java, just replace it with Rust. Ah, that's embarrassing. I need to be better. Okay. How do I solve this problem? Or how do I blank with Rust in blank? Always include information about a broader picture along with any attempted solution. If someone asks for more information, do provide details. If there are other solutions you've already ruled out, share why you've ruled them out. Then this gives more information about your requirements. Mm. Hmm. And okay, I think I understand what the XY problem is. Oh shoot. Okay, so the first one, describe the XY problem. The XY problem is a question that's targeting the wrong problem that the programmer's having. They're asking questions for problem Y, but they really meant problem X. So you tend to waste time for the person who's helping you because they're trying to figure out the solution to problem Y or give you or help you out with problem Y, but they really wanted to help you with problem X. Name 5 things your question should include. A link to the project or section that you're on. I forgot the rest. Oh, pseudocode, and then explanation, describing in a summary. So it's the first one is a link to the project or the section. The second one is pseudocode or actual code of your implementation. The third one is I don't know the third one, but the fourth one is a description, and the fifth one is a conclusion. And I'll have to explain the problem. So yeah, the third one is just explaining the problem. What is your code doing? You could even send a video. Send them a video of what your code is actually doing. Helps you out even more. That's what I used to do. I would just quickly make a video of the problem I'm having, explain what it is, describe the steps to make the bug reoccur, and talk about solutions that I've done, and just summarize it at the end. But yeah, these are good resources. I tend not to bookmark a lot just because I'm probably going to forget about it, but this is pretty useful. Okay, last lesson. Hey, what's up, V? You're back. Yep, I'll keep on going. Well, I'm actually gonna stop after this one. Since you're here, I'll explain what I'm doing. So every day I'm just gonna complete a section. So today marks the day I'll complete the introduction. Then tomorrow prerequisites, and then next day get basics and so forth. So that's kind of like the schedule I'm gonna do. So we will be able to get this done in 7 more days. Okay, so why a community is awesome for you. Actually, I know V and I talked about going on social media, but I think I might go back on Twitter just because of the networking. Um, it's just networking is powerful. I have to network with other people. I hate Twitter. I hate social media in general. But when you're on a journey like this, you do not want to self isolate. You want to connect with people. So I'm gonna have to get Twitter, Instagram, and Mastodon and other social media applications. That's gonna suck, but hey, it'll be fun to network with people all around the world. Okay, before asking for help, as most projects are designed to push you to your limit, please remember that there's always a community to turn to. You don't need to know how to solve every problem straight away, but you do need to know a general idea of where you are going. This becomes really important when asking your questions because the problem is your approach and not your code. If you're feeling stuck, it's a good time to pause and take a breather. Break the problem down into little pieces and then decide what is really holding you back. We call this technique rubber duck debugging. Oh, I love this. So my girlfriend made me a Ferris mascot, and that's like my rubber duck. So Ferris is the mascot for the Rust programming language. I don't know, I forgot the material that she made it in. But yeah, she made this for my birthday. It kind of looks like this, but the material she used is way harder. Like it has some weight to it. It's not like a plushie. Yeah, this material right here. Same material. I don't know the name. But yeah, that's my rubber duck. Asking for help. So you spent some time struggling to solve problems on your own. Now it's time to fire up the. Yep, this is what I discussed earlier. Screenshots, screen recordings are really helpful when discussing about a problem you're having. It would be funny if this actually happens to me. Say that I'm struggling on the rock, paper, scissors project. Oh man. But yeah, I have no problem asking for help if need be. Doesn't matter how much experience I have, I can still struggle. No matter how simple the project. Okay, I already have this. Already have this. Let's go on Discord and get that set up. Connections. I think I might already have this though. Maybe not. Okay. Okay, complete. Okay, so that was a lot. That was a lot of information. But the key takeaways is that this is going to be a journey that involves standing on my own 2 feet. The Odin Project has laid out the framework. I just have to follow it and make sure that I'm not skipping any content. I'm actually putting 100% of my effort into this program. Yes, I already have programming experience. I probably don't have to do the Odin Project, but I want to show my audience or the people who's watching that this is definitely doable and I'm here to help. So I think I'm gonna end it here. I'm probably gonna spend some time going over this article and actually practicing asking better questions. Yeah, I'll be here tomorrow morning at around 9 or 10. I'll try to get it to 9ish. I just have to figure out my schedule. But thank you for all who came. It's been real nice having you. Yeah, and I hope you have a great day or a great night. Peace.